Okay, so this is your bedroom?
Yeah, this is where I sleep at.
Okay, and what has happened to you in here?
Well, a lot of the times when I'm sleeping at night, mainly the first thing that really started coming up was I started hearing voices, like whispers, calling my name, like Tay, Tay. And when I first heard it, I thought it was Jake, because we had all just gone to bed, and I thought they were awake still, and I'm sitting there, kept going, what? And, you know, no reply. I'm like, Jake, like, what do you want? Nothing. So I'd lay there for a little bit, start falling asleep. Tay. And I'm like, all right, seriously? So I get up and I go in there and I throw open their door and they're both asleep, snoring. And so I'm like, all right, you know, I get a little weirded out and then kind of brush it off and go back to sleep. Then the whispers increased. They started, you know, like, hey, Taylor. Just mainly calling my name. And then I'll be laying there and I'll, you know, be on my phone or whatever, and I'll feel something get onto my bed. Like, you know how like when somebody puts like their knee like onto their bed, I'll feel that quite often. And I'll get that looming feeling of somebody's standing there. So
do you feel like this is a child, or what's the impression?
Well, I'm not 100% sure on it, because stuff like that's been happening to me since before I moved in here.
Right.
Like when I lived with my mom previously, and little things like that would happen, but it seems childish. Because I had a girlfriend stay the night with me one night, and we were dead asleep. I had a cup of water on my nightstand. We were on the far side of my bed, away from the nightstand, and it got poured in between us. So, I mean, you know, little childish things, getting that feeling like, you know, when you're asleep, you'll get like that kid coming into your room like, Mom, Dad, are you awake? Just that feeling of somebody standing there for long periods of time.
So it does feel
sort of childlike, yeah.
Yeah. Has any of it seemed like it was going to harm you, or you ever felt in danger?
Never, not in danger, really. But I mean, it's happened to me not just here, not just at my mom's, but almost everywhere that I've lived. Okay. I had lived in Utah for a period of time. I went to work out there, and that's when it first made contact with me, like physical contact. I was laying in bed. I just turned my light off, and I laid down in bed. I had my door closed and locked, and it grabbed on my leg, my thigh. I'm a big dude, you know what I mean? Like I don't get startled very easily. So needless to say, it did scare me a little bit. And I jumped up and flipped my lights on, and you know, hear footsteps in the house and stuff. But other than that, no, I don't really feel afraid.
Okay, that's good to hear. So nothing at all seemed like it's really, really negative or trying to harm anybody.
There was one incident, and one incident only. I was asleep, and I was dreaming about something, and it scared me. So I woke up and I couldn't move. I could see, but it was really blurry. Like I could see outside my window. There's a light. I could see that light. I could see it. I could see the window. I could see the light, and I could see my blinds. But I couldn't move. I couldn't get up, and I was struggling. I was trying hard to get up. And you know, I'm not a religious person, but you know, kind of just instincts kick back in when my grandma said, you know, if you're ever scared, call out to God. And I was like Jesus, and I sat up, like shot up in bed. But that was the only incident where I ever felt scared or threatened or anything.
And were you having a dream of anything in particular at that point?
The dream was really out of the ordinary, really strange. I was in a house I'd never been in before. There was only one person I knew there, and she's not close to me. She's my stepmom. I'm not like really close with her, but we were in this house, and there was an attic access, like a crawl space access, and they were opening it, and I started getting bad feeling. And I was like, hey, you know, like we shouldn't do this. And they weren't listening to me, and they took down this cloth. It was like a brown silk cloth or something, and they opened it up, and right before I woke up, I had seen like a mirror and some hair, and that's, you know, when I woke up, and then I couldn't move. Like it felt like I got sucked out of my dream. It's kind of a difficult feeling to explain.
Okay.
Okay, when I was about 6 to 7 years old, there was a period in my life, but every single night for a span of maybe 5 or 6 months, every single night, no matter where I was. But so this dream that I had, I was on a field trip with a bunch of kids I did not know, except for there was one kid in my current class when I was a kid. His name was Timothy. He was kind of a dorky kid, and he was there, and I didn't particularly care for him. He was just kind of a dorky kid that was in my class who I said hi to on occasion, kind of thing. And he was in my dream with a bunch of other kids we didn't know, and we had a substitute teacher. The dream starts already in this house. A substitute teacher drops this whole class. We all go on a field trip. It's late at night. It had to be midnight. And we get dropped off at this house, and she leaves with some boyfriend. She's kissing him as they walk out the door and leaves us all in this house. And this house is a very huge, it looks like the underworld where all the vampires live. Yeah. It's a big house like that. And when you walk in the front door, it's a huge room, and there's double stairways going up to one hallway up above. And we're all kind of looking around. The only thing that's in the room is a couple baskets of huge baskets with blankets in it. And I can still remember, like, even just talking about it now, I can still remember the smells and everything that I was experiencing there. And it was filthy. It looked like nobody had been there in 100 years. And we all were kind of, as a class, walking through the house, looking at everything. There's a kitchen behind that little half wall like this, but it was more of a dining room, and it had a basket as well, with blankets in it. And the living room would be out here, and the stairway started there, so the kitchen was separate. And I remember we all walked up as a class into this hallway. We went down this hallway, and it was empty. There was no doors. It went down forever. Till, I mean, it was like a small, like, thing, and it was filthy, and it smelled musky, like you're smelling a sweaty chest or something, you know, or the underarm or something real thick, musky smell. And I could barely breathe, and we're all walking down there. None of us seeming to be spooked except for me, it seemed like. And we walked down this hallway, and then it's just a right angle. Right? We went down, and it was another long hallway with a door at the very end. And we walked all the way down, and I remember walking, and I remember like the sound of all of our feet on the floor, and everything. It was like real. And we get to this doorway, and we'd open it up, and it was a bathroom, very similar to our bathroom. Which freaked me out when we first moved in here. The whole class was in the bathroom somehow. I don't know how, but I remember being able to look around and see everybody. And Timothy opened up the toilet lid, and there was a human head in the bowl, blood and all, black water, blood, water, and the head was floating in the water. And then he reached over and slid the shower curtain open, and the body of the guy was in the bathtub.
What color was the hair?
Brown hair, like dark brown, like black almost. Hair, short hair, like this long. I remember he looked...
I only saw a lock about that big.
He looked crazy. He looked insane, the guy in the toilet. He was dead. It was obvious that he was dead. His eyes were shut and everything. And slid it open, and we saw the body. And then Timothy, I would like grab him and was like, we need to get out of here. And he looked me straight in the face and reached over and flushed the toilet. And the eyes opened on the guy, and we all took off. And I remember running down the long hallway, being out of breath. I remember the smell. And I remember looking back and seeing the guy walk around, like very, very long strides, walk around the hall, and chasing us out. And we ran down the stairs, and everybody hid in the baskets. And I ran into the one in the kitchen that was more hidden. It was in a dark room by itself. You couldn't see into the room. And I was peeking up over the little half wall. And the guy came down, and he was holding his head onto his body. And he reached down, and he grabbed a blanket, moved it, and grabbed Timothy, and ran up back into the bathroom. And for whatever reason, we all got up, and we're like, oh my God, is everybody okay? Like, they got Timothy, and we're all freaking out. And we went up the stairs, we went in down the hall, all the way back to the bathroom, and we opened up the toilet lid, and it was Timothy's head in the water. And then his body was in the shower. And then I wake up. Over and over and over again. Even if I slept twice in a night, I would have the same dream for months on end.
That makes me even more determined. We need to get into that attic space. I need to get up there. Okay.
Climb on up. Okay. Where are they? It's heavy. you want me to pull this thing off of here?
Yeah, you should be able to push it over to one
To
side.
one side.
Okay, I have a different box up here if you want to talk now. What is your name?
What?
Do you want us to leave? Are you afraid of us? Do you not like Bridget? Are you a little kid? Are you a little boy or a little girl? What is your name? Do you want us to go home? Are you a man? Are you an adult? Do you live here or do you follow Jake around?
What?
You follow 9-5? Are you here to hurt Jake, Jordan, Taylor, or the baby? Why do you want to hurt Taylor? You're not sure?
Okay.